Hi, this is Stephen Brower from Mountain Valley Community College. This is for Computer Literacy Summer of 2017. This is part 2 of the video on Intro to MLA. The one thing I ran out of time on the first video is showing formatting footnotes. In this document that I'm in right now, I haven't yet put any footnotes in, so I'm deviating a little bit from the way that the book does it, but it is possible that you actually can change the text for the footnote, the format of the footnote, before you even add your first one. So one way, there's multiple ways to do this. This might not be the most efficient, but here in the Home tab for the Styles group, if I bring up the dialog, now it's one of those things, if you don't see footnote here, one way that you can go and get to it is under Manage Styles. And again, if you're having trouble seeing them, you can sort alphabetic, and then in this case we're going to go to the F for footnote. Probably should pause the video because I'm scrolling so slowly. Okay, so the footnote text. Let me go and modify this style, and we'll change it to 11 to match basically the document. The MLA format is that the footnotes would be the same format as the rest of the document in terms of double-spaced, first line indent, but also even the font size. Let's do format paragraph. We'll do the first line indent, and we'll do the line spacing as double, making sure I have no space after. Okay, so all I've done right now, okay, is I've set up what the footnote text would be if we have a footnote. Now, since I'm deviating from the book, I'm not necessarily putting this in the right place. But let me go and put so under references, if I do insert footnote. Now, one thing, I don't know if you noticed, but the first line indent is on. Let's see. Let me pause for a second. Okay, I just got a little more text in here. Now, all I did, the video, you might not have noticed a pause, but all I did during the time is I just made sure I had some text, so it did wrap to a second line. So, again, this footnote that I just added, because I already formatted the footnote text, it is double-spaced, 11, and has the first line indent. So again, if we're planning ahead of time, if we're setting up our document for about to write a paper, it's the kind of thing that we can do the setup ahead, so I don't have to go back and then do it later. And as I made an allusion before, if we actually did save, like if I'm doing this out of order though, but if I had set up the basic format and then saved it as a template, the basic format also including the footnote text, then I actually could create a document from that template, basically create a paper from the MLA template, and then I would have all the formatting that I need. Okay, and let me regroup 1 second. Okay, so finally, a couple leftovers that I didn't mention in part 1. I did mention the practical reason why there is double spacing throughout the paper, so that it's easier for a teacher to give feedback in between the lines for a paper that's written. And that's the reason why that applies to footnotes, is footnotes can get notes from the teacher as well. So there's a practical reason why that's being done. When you have multiple paragraphs, having this first line indent, the practical part of it is that the paragraphs can distinguish from the other. The hanging indent on the works cited, and it's sorted alphabetically A to Z, so it's easier to find the works cited and easier to it's easier to see the by author the works cited. One thing I didn't mention was sort of the practicality of, well, first of all, two things. So the header, which we have the last name and the number, the practicality of that is, well, related to another thing. So let me say the other thing first. A number of teachers do not want you to staple the document when you hand it in. They want you to paperclip it, because some of them they scan it in and run it through an anti-plagiarism software. And so it's easier to scan it in when you don't have to stop and remove a staple. The other thing, the reason why they want the paperclip, is what the teacher can do is put the works cited side by side with the document, in terms of out on the table. And so as they're reading the document, they can look at the works cited without having to rip it away. Okay, so now it's mentioned that a number of teachers want the paperclip. The page number in the upper right-hand corner. Well, let's say they drop their stack of papers. By having the name and the page number in the corner, if you have a bunch of papers that have been scattered, you group it by name and then sort them, and there you have your pages back. So some of the stuff that's here may seem a little bit silly. There are some practical reasons for it. And the thing is, even you yourself, maybe you go to the printer, you print it out, you come back, you accidentally drop it before you get a chance to paperclip it or even staple it, and you're picking up the pages. By having them numbered, by having the page numbers, it'll help you assemble it. So some of the things that in the MLA, you may look at that and say, well, it's silly, why are we doing this? Some of the things are very practical, and some of it is from the teacher's point of view, to make it easier for them, again, to provide feedback between the line, to know when they're looking at a page that it is for the student, which page that they're on, etc. Okay, I believe that's it for the MLA, and if not, I'll make a part 3, but I do believe this is it for the MLA.